There are things we can do. We bring it good news and we give it to you. We talk about podcast and connecting people and culture from getting up out of the club. Calling for people who willing to sell. Blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us the end of the rest of them. The welcome and life with African.
A lyrical health.
Master.
Play Paris, who make on you. I can't Sktv menu. Say my chenny, Tina can I say my yamo. And yes, I know money. And more I yo. And you love me. More I
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money. And I said ya to money. And I couldn't flee ya to money. And I could do ya to money. And I didn't ya to money. And I said ya to money. And I couldn't flee ya to money. And I could do ya to money. And I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby. And I don't get it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring it good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from getting up out of the club. Calling for people who willing to sell. The flesh, the time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving the real and the premise my best. The work with my life with African. From Grandfather, Nima to Lufa. From River Sass, River G to Chide. From Grand Crew, Bombay, Cape Mount, Monserrat, San to Bacoloo. From Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
University of Liberia Student Union, Capitol Hill Campus, Monrovia, Liberia. University of Liberia Student Union demands immediate resumption of work by 43 lawmakers in the majority bloc of the National Legislature. The University of Liberia Student Union also calls upon the 43 lawmakers within the majority bloc of the National Legislature to immediately resume their legislative duties and fulfill their mandate. Unacceptable that elected representatives have left their legislative chambers without fulfilling their responsibilities to address the pressing issues facing our nation. As students and concerned citizens, we stand for the principles of accountability, transparency, and commitment to public service. We remind these lawmakers that they are entrusted by the people to act in the nation's interest, particularly in these challenging times when decisive leadership and legislative actions are essential. The University of Liberia Student Union demands the following. 1, the immediate resumption of duties. We insist that all 43 lawmakers in the majority bloc return to their legislative roles without delay to attend to matters of national interest, including critical issues affecting the economy, education, healthcare, and security. Number 2, commitment to public welfare. The well-being of the Liberian people must be the foremost priority of the legislature. We urge these lawmakers to dedicate themselves to their roles and provide the necessary oversight and legislative support needed to ensure stability and progress for all Liberians. Number 3, accountability and transparency. We call for transparency in their actions and decisions. Any prolonged absence from duty undermines the public's trust and weakens the integrity of our democratic institutions. The people of Liberia, especially the youth and student community, are closely watching this situation. Like, we are preparing to take appropriate and lawful actions, including mass peaceful protests in the coming days, should there be continued neglect of legislative responsibilities. Also stands united in this call for action. We urge that all stakeholders, civil groups, and citizens to join us in holding our leaders accountable. Liberia's progress depends on the active and responsible participation of its elected officials. Signed, Leadership, University of Liberia Student Union.
Manda, wetu, manda, wetu, manda, wetu, manda, wetu, manda, wetu, manda, wetu. Yo, also say those who speak on step now say yo. Also say those who speak on step now say yo. Also call all the ones who are on the speak on step down must stop and say yo. Because they pay them matter in a bro yo. Luther.
University of Liberia Student Union, Capitol Hill Campus, Monrovia, Liberia. University of Liberia Student Union demands immediate resumption of work by 43 lawmakers in the majority bloc of the National Legislature. The University of Liberia Student Union also.
Good. So indeed, you are listening, especially to those of you who following us via the internet. And again, let me say a wonderful good evening to all of you. Yes, through the weather and everything with all of the. I don't know how come, but these few days I just been so busy and back to back. But again, thank God at least that we are moving very strong with all of the so we say my rule, the weather conditions. Even though we are gradually ending the month of October, but we are still experiencing rainfall, heavy rainfall for that matter. In fact, coming with storm, tunnel, lightning and so forth. So it's not easy, but thank God. Good evening, folks. That video that was playing, that some of you just watched, that's the press conference been heard today by the the UL students party. In fact, they are saying that they are calling on the legislators to return to status quo, or else they're going to be having their own protest on protests that are going to end soon, according to them. So again, I want to welcome you. Indeed, today is Wednesday. Sorry that we're coming a little bit late, but thank God. This is how we like to start the show today. Wednesday, as usual, we start with some social interactions, speak to all of our viewers, recognize all of you at least one way and the other. But again, a wonderful way to welcome you. President Monk will be joining me in a jiffy, and we have so many things to talk about. Even apart from that video, we also have the rest, the rebacking of this poor rest. Mind you, there are the news around that that is poor rest that have been reback and for the consumption of our people or for the public. So again, we have all of these videos, we have all of these photos, and we're going to show you to you, our viewers out there. So if you have found the show or maybe like or comment, we are urging you to please do follow, like, and comment. Monk will be joining me anytime from now on. So indeed, yes, so many videos Somebody say, well, yes, aluta. That's the corner, all of our students, every time they come on, they will say aluta. That means they are telling you that. So again, let me play that video and quickly go for this break and be right back.
Our elected representatives have left their legislative chambers without fulfilling their responsibilities to address the pressing issues facing our nation. As students and concerned citizens, we stand for the principles of accountability, transparency, and commitment to public service. We remind these lawmakers that they are entrusted by the people to act in the nation's interest, particularly in these challenging times when decisive leadership and legislative actions are essential. The University of Liberia Student Union demands the following. One, the immediate resumption of duties. We insist that all 43 lawmakers in the majority bloc return to their legislative roles without delay to attend to matters of national interest, including critical issues affecting the economy, education, healthcare, and security. Number two, commitment to public welfare. The well-being of the Liberian people must be the foremost priority of the legislature. We urge these lawmakers to dedicate themselves to their roles and provide the necessary oversight and legislative support needed to ensure stability and progress for all Liberians. Number three, accountability and transparency. We call for transparency in their actions and
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who waiting to sell. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The project is giving us here the premise of them. The work with my life with African.
I live royalty.
Master.
Cleverly, so I can't ask Sktv-Lib. Say my journey, Tina can ask my yamo. And he's a no money, and Muaye, no. And he love our money, Muaye, no. What is that?
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandbaza.
And I dine ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could boy ya to money, and I dine ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could boy ya to money, and I forget it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I forget it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who waiting to sell. The flashing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the premise my best. To work with my life with Africa. From Grandfather Nima to Lusa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Condition, right? With the condition is clean. You don't know. Okay. Should you put food? The food you go research, should you put it on this ground? No, but you bought later, you're not talking condition, right? With the condition is clean. You don't know. Okay. Should you put food? The food you go research, should you put it on this ground? No, but you bought later, you're not talking condition, right? With the condition is clean. You don't know. Okay. Should you put food? The food you go research, should you put it on this ground? No, but you bought later, you're not talking condition, right? With the condition is clean. You don't know. Okay. Should you put food? The food you go research, should you put it on this ground? No, but you bought later, you're not talking.
Yes. Yes. So I'm a colleague, Mark. We sincerely apologize to our people. Mark, good evening.
Yeah, what's up, Mabel? And what's up to the rest of the listening audience from around the world, the US, Liberia in particular, the targeted audience. Another day to be on Sktv. Today is what, Wednesday? The
Yes,
30th?
today is Wednesday and it's ladies' night. Always here from our end, even though
Yeah.
you're not that kind of social person, and I know, but again, you say that maybe anytime from the year end, maybe moving forward, starting from next year, you're going to be a little bit, or in fact, you'll be active socially.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again,
I will be
Mark,
busy
yeah,
again.
mm, okay, you'll be busy again.
God's willing. Everything is God's willing.
Wonderful. So, Mark, since we're starting like this now on the social aspects of our show all of the time, we want to say good evening to our followers. We sincerely apologize. You know, sometimes when the break come in, you have no control, but you got to sit back and recalibrate on how to do things. So again, we want to say we're sorry, all of our followers, our viewers. Again, we moved. Mark, social, I don't know what some of the social news that caught your attention apart from our Ori or Guri Mana Eli Jazzy celebrating her birthday on yesterday. You know, that was one of the social things on
Yeah,
yesterday.
that was one of the social stuff, one of the social news happening. Even though it's still linked with politics because she's a former president, so you have mixed reaction about her birthday. And some people say they wish she were dead or she would have been dead years earlier. I don't know why people would pray for that. Look, you can all have your interpretation of the history of Liberia. People do things, they have a reason as to why they do things. You know, the people who complain about war, it's not about bringing war to a country. It's about the reason why the war came to a country. And that's why every great country in the war went through some kind of a turmoil, whether it's the great United States, whether it was the Confederacy war, whether it was the War of Independence, even Great Britain. You can name them. They are endless. The French Revolution, Russia, the Soviet Union. Look, everybody went through some kind of a turmoil. The problem is when you go through this political uprising or political upheaval, or how you want to describe it, what do you learn in the process? And how do you make the country better after going through a turmoil? That's what people should talk about. Because if you read the history of Liberia, people say, yeah, they brought war to Liberia. But what triggered the war? What instigated the war? Because you brought a crazy dictator that came and changed the constitution, that want to muscle his political enemy, that wanted for his political rival to leave the country, change the law in his favor, led a rebellion in another county because he believed that somebody was trying to assassinate him from there or coup. So people, if you were in the shoes of Madame Salif and other Liberians at the time, you can understand why they brought war, because it was unprecedented in the history of Liberia that you got a leader who tried to do things out of the norm. So I'm not yet to back war. I'm not saying that you can justify their action, but these are things that led to war. Yeah.
More, let me just add it to you. Tell you something. Even at that time, the region, though, let me take the entire region into consideration by them. There were a lot of coup, so many things happening, overthrowing of government and so forth. So people's lives by then were not really safe than we are today. But again, like you said, my brother, people fought war for so many reasons. Like for example, Rwanda, right? Today we can also use Rwanda as one of the example. Who there today?
How about Sudan?
A former rebel leader.
How about Angola? One of the longest civil war that lasted for almost 30 years. Angola, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo. I can name them. Sierra Leone. Even Ghana. What led to the presidency of Ghana? It wasn't a revolution. What happened in Burkina Faso when it was upper voter with the leg of Thomas Sankara, Patrice Luamba? The list is never ending. Bro, everybody got a situation that changed the trajectory of the country. Even in the Western world, from America all the way. Why do you think there was World War I and World War II? People got political and social differences. I'm saying when you go through turmoil, when you go through political uprising, there should be a moral lesson that you take from that. And you should rectify the wrong for which you brought the political uprising. In our case, we didn't learn a damn thing from it. We got worse after that. It doesn't even seem like we are even on the right trajectory. That's why make Liberia's situation is unique. But other countries benefited from these things. Because, look, Mebon, I keep saying it, more than 90% of the country in Africa got their independence in 1960. So from the 70s to the 80s, it was all about coup d'etat. It was all about removing one government. It took a while for the dust to settle in Africa. And since then, people have been making tribe. You know, people have been making lead way in developing their country. And I get name of most of them. The only thing with our country, we went through war and we never learned anything from that war. We are not even trying to get better. Matter of fact, we even got worse for the system. After the system we cleaned that was bad for us, that we tried to change, it even got worse. So,
because
the situation is unique.
Because more, where in this world that you fought war for 14 years, I can always describe it after the 14 years civil war. Now you go up nearly 19 years since the war, but nothing.
Yeah, and you still complaining. You know, it's one of when it's one of those talking point every time people when you talk to a Liberian, when you interacting with other national, and that's one of the biggest excuse over again. Oh, we went through war. Like my brother, we passed that stage, bro. We're talking about from 1990 all the way to 2003 or whatsoever, bro. It's been decades now after this whole war. That's not an excuse. They got countries that let me tell you something, maybe the war in Rwanda, right? It was also ethnic cleansing. It was also a domestic. And even though they never destroy infrastructure and Rwanda never had great infrastructure, people forgot to know that Rwanda was depending on tea. It was their number one export. They were a poor country. And their war, it lasted for, let's say, roughly 3.5 to 4 months. But the life that were lost, the people in Rwanda, I think when you're looking at the death ratio, it was 3 times as compared to the number of people that died in Liberia in terms of casualty. But look at that country today. So how can you make an argument? It's a waste of time. You keep giving excuses because you just are not capable of elevating your own society. But war is not a justifiable reason to keep telling people that you are where you are today because of war. That's a lie. That's a lazy argument. We just are not groomed to build a better society. That's what happened since 1980.
Because the Rwanda you're talking about, both sides, they agree, especially when it comes to educating their people, in fact, making their people to be one. Like, for example, there are no more Hutus and Tutsi.
Yeah, the Houthi and the Tutsi and all that stuff.
They are only one Rwanda.
Yeah.
And all of the people there, they are all one. But yet, in Liberia, you'll be asking me, which country you from? Which tribe are you?
You still voting on tribal land. You still voting on party land. Your political party don't even have to have fundamental ideological differences. But you still voting. You still asking people. Can you imagine? You see, it's one of the reasons I tell people. I say, you know what? I don't. It sounds very insulting to a certain extent to say, but these people in this industrialized war, they put their brains to work. Remember, you go to a country like Liberia, and for the past 4 election cycles, a guy like Prince Johnson, even though only the people from Nimakande sees him as a hero, right? Is Prince Johnson a hero for people from Grand Jide or from people from Sino? No. He's only, in their mind, from their own understanding, he's their hero. But this guy was literally able to decide the outcome of almost 4 different elections in Liberia. You think that makes sense? Yeah, you think that makes any sense? That people will be forced to live under a particular leadership just because Prince Johnson was able to put his thumb on the scale to determine who becomes president. I mean, what is his contribution to Liberia? That people should live under leadership because of the Prince Johnson factor. That's why I love the electoral college system in America. I say, you know what? This system is the most ingenious system ever crafted anywhere in the world. Because in this country, when they say the electoral college, it's all about appealing to people who call themselves the independent voters that are spread over limited states in this country. And the population of a state does not give you the right to override people with smaller population. You must vote on political ideology, and the president who is able to put together a diverse coalition of voters throughout the country should be the one to be president. Now some guy because even from Nimakande and there are more people that live in Nimakande, so he can determine who becomes president for the entire country. Even though out of the 15 political subdivisions, he's only seen as hero in 1. But the 14 other counties should be able to live under his leadership because he was able to put it on. That's stupid. It makes no goddamn sense. But unfortunately, that's Liberia.
And that means more quickly before we close on the whole entire war business, that means the entire war that we fought in this country was just senseless to me, or maybe some would say useless, because no reason.
That's the perfect. That's it.
Because no reason more.
Yeah.
Up to date, up to now, your own people that you fought for, that you claim, even like you said, right, about Senator Prince Wahad Johnson, and the rest of the other people, even the George Bode. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
People like George Bode.
Yeah.
Was one-time representative for the people. Nothing. No, Monk. When you talk this thing, you say, you know that for me, I have no.
Yeah.
My is Liberia.
Yeah.
Because why? We want the country to move forward. You can't fool the people all of the time. Monk, like you said, people, yes.
There are other tribal groups in. Let me give you a typical example in Rwanda. And the two major tribal groups are the Hutus and the Tutsis, right? And the president happens to be from one of them. I think he's a Tutsi, if I'm not mistaken, a Porky comment. If I'm not mistaken, I got to double check it. In this going election, he was able to accumulate almost 98% of the total vote cast. When people ask him, why you're not even on the campaign trail, you know his response? He said, when you get the people work going, they themselves can see they are human beings, they can put their brains to work. They know exactly how to vote on election day. I necessarily don't need to come from the Tutsi, the Hutus group. They're seeing the kind of strides that are making this country, the kind of investment, the kind of the way in which people's lives are improving. So I don't need to be on the campaign trail. My work will be the one to do the campaigning for me. And guess what? He never stepped forward on the campaign trail throughout the election. He literally sat home and got 98%. That's how people use their brain and how people work. That's how people vote on election day. They could care less about where you come from. And we gave you a typical example. Yeah, we gave you another example with the situation that happened in Kenya. The situation that happened in Kenya was just a testament to the whole of Africa. That when people elevate above politics, they make better decisions. That the people who launched the protest or staged the protest, they were the very same people that voted for the president in power. But they never say, oh, we should let it to slide because we are the one that voted for the president. No. In our country, we are always looking for the side to choose before we can even investigate. That's where the problem is. We can't rise above political party, political leader, tribal sentiment. Then how can you get a better leader?
I went somewhere. Let me just give you the joke. I went somewhere. So someone asked me for my trap. The politics embarrassing me about my trap. What? Is my trap really necessary to you, or my actions, or the way I do things? Which one you really want? Say no, maybe I really want to know your trap. What kind of country is this? Monk, I never cry because I was thinking like, why would people be thinking about trap county instead of them thinking about Liberia, the growth and development of this country? No one care. All they care about if I know you are suddenly trapped, they don't want to align with you. I know you are dead. As soon as you call a trust, you finish.
Yeah.
So Monk, the war we fought in this country, all of these people today, they are the Capitol building. Now the same people they fought for, they are eating rotten rest.
In a situation where our society, when you talk these things, people believe that because things happen in the past, it should be happening now, it should be acceptable. That's what I can make you mad. And Melbourne, it's not only the people that you see back there, even people that even travel in this advanced country that live here. You see somebody, they stay traveling, they stay arguing on travel land. That, oh, they got for the Southeast, so because of Southeastern, I should support a Southeastern president. Are you serious? Does it matter if Labrador is making progress? Does it matter where the president coming from, Lofa, or whether he comes from Nema, or whether he coming from Sano? How can you even make the argument if the country is making progress?
In fact, let me just tell you that today, Mom. As long as you Mom, maybe you are of the other trap, and I'm Melbourne, I'm of the other trap. Then be leader people. Look, you look at your own Liberian brothers and sisters. You calling them leader people, older people. No, Mom, but this thing anyway. Some people, that's the society we find ourselves in. Sometimes we see these things. Some of you, I know right now is indeed you really get into some of these things because we are all one Liberia, and we are all one Liberian. How will you sit on the other umbrella and say no? The other trap shouldn't come. The other trap shouldn't do this. The other trap is a minority. They have no voice. They have this. They have look. Mom, if I tell you, for me, the best human being that I've ever interacted with, and who respect religion, who respect truth, is one of the Musa Hassan Beniti. Mom, I don't know other places, but what I've been seeing here to where I work here, I can tell you that that man, he has nothing to do with trap. He has nothing to do with religion. He believes that there's God, and he believes that there's human. Human should live and love each other. But today, I'm trying to look at some trap people.
But maybe the only reason they get something they call trap because when you were born into a particular society, you find yourself in certain geographical region on this planet. Let's just take Africa for example. That's why I said the people in the Western world, they really put their brain to work. Look at it, the whole idea of the European Union, right? Even though they are from different countries, some of them got different ethnic speaking minority group, right? But when it comes to trade, when it comes to investment, they all do things as one, whether it's passport, international trade. Maybe if you and myself are in Labra, whether you're a Gola man or I'm a Sapo man or I'm a crew man, how does that impact the country? I mean, first of all, we found ourselves in the same geographical space, the society we call Liberia today. Yeah, we might be having different vernacular or whatsoever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, we fly one flag, we get the same constitution, we live in the same geographical space. I mean, we got the same central government. So why is it, whether you are, how they call it, a Loma man or Kisi man, but I don't know. And the one that can make me pissed about Liberia when it comes to the whole thing about travel land. The only thing I know about Liberian politics that when the worst case scenario happens, the tribal group that will always be in power become the victim. So you would think in a normal society, people will start voting against their tribal sentiment because from the war, we learned that, okay, if crown people were in power and there was a war, who they're going to target the most? And not the crown people they're going to target? And I don't see any. Here's the funny thing, people. When you bring your tribal man into power and look at the situation in the country, the social and economic development in the country, I cannot tell you or show you any example that because a man from Sano County became president or Grand Crew so that the people in the South eat their life improved by any measure as compared to other part of the country. Yeah, look at Grand Judea today. I mean, why can you show in Grand Judea for the fact that Samuel was president? Yeah. Why can people from Grand Crew show that because Joe was president? And they say, Elena Gola woman, why in Bombing country to make you proud to be someone from Bombing? So the whole idea that you're voting for people squarely on the idea that they are from your tribal group, it just mind-boggling, and I guess cannot make sense of it because I know it only reflects negatively, not positively. Because from the war, growing up in Liberia, from what I experienced, anytime things goes wrong, they always target the tribal group that is in power. So I don't know where you will be voting or why you will be voting on the fact that this man comes from a tribal background. I really don't know. Make no sense. But anyway, maybe.
Yes, indeed. So even that has also entered into making laws, not making noise.
Yeah.
More. Yesterday, you got all this for goodie.
Yeah. Making law, not making noise, but she was one of that brought about the noise when she tried to interfere in the removal of a speaker. So that's it right there.
Anyway,
it happened on her watch.
Yes, and indeed, folks, actually, we just pass back with some of these things, and these things are all serious. Even up to now, people are not really getting into each other. For example, if mom, maybe son, that's talking a trap, and my daughter that's talking a trap, maybe if a mom let my trap, or my trap not let mom trap, they will not get married. How can we know? More this thing we're saying today, mom, that you just brought up, is indeed important. Look, mom, someone will say the people are angry. You see, Liberians, they will be sitting back, putting this, or if I putting more anger into themselves, creating this kind of chaos that tomorrow that will embarrass them. Because if instead of you carrying the country, you are not carrying trouble. You're not carrying county. The mom said, it is all right. Nobody force you out. Even if you're from Lofa County, well, you can go back home to get back to your people. It's good. But what we are saying is that to even go to national scene and prove that indeed you are of their trap, and because of their trap, you can even do anything that you want to do, I think it's wrong. And we have to graduate from some of these things.
In a society that tries to make progress, when people are making decisions, they look at certain attributes, they get their checklist. They look at the president, they look at the kind of idea the president present, You look at their past life as to things that they've been engaged into and the level of success they have attained. People look at it and they call meritocracy. What you bring to the table, your idea, your vision for the country, where you came before or where you came from. What are some of the things we can point to in your personal life that make you a success, that we believe that based on your personal success, you're able to use those same skills and turn the country's future around. Those are things that people look for. When you go to other countries, they keep going from scrim to scrim. They look for one president. The next thing they start looking for someone who are better than the previous president. That's how countries make progress. Look at your Africa, look at your Ghana, look at your Rwanda, look at your Botswana, look at your Tanzania. People keep looking from strength to strength. Look, maybe in other countries, when people vote for a leader, they say, okay, yeah, you did better. We respect that you serve for 6 or 7 or 8 years, but you know what? We're looking for somebody else after you, and that person must be better than you. That's how people think. But in our country, no. In our country, no. That's it. Who kill more? Who stole more? Who more popular? Yeah, that's
who
it.
Can deliver the county? Who can you imagine people deliver a county? County that is struggling.
Yeah.
More get a long way to go, even though people themselves sometimes they. But more quickly, what you make of this video or this photo trending about the ratting rest before we move to our as usual, this entire week is all about the speaker Wahala, but we have so many news also.
Yeah, a lot of things happening.
Yes, indeed. We don't want to let some of the news just passing or maybe going down the way like that. So let's see about the ratting rest. I don't know whether you are read out some of the stories about the ratting rest.
I haven't been following the story except for the video I saw. I think we discussed it a little bit yesterday. I said some of these things, and sometimes there are so many reasons that can bring the thing they call ratting rest. Sometimes poor storage facility. I said it because growing up in Labrador myself, I witnessed some of these things. I saw it. And sometimes maybe on the guys, some people who can cause something they call artificial scarcity, where they can just buy the reg in bulk and keep it over an extended period of time, thinking that when the rest gets scarce, they can sell it for more money. And these things can happen. I really don't know because I didn't follow the case, but I know sometimes when you don't have weaker regulations with your how they call it, your commerce and industry, when you don't, when your inspectors general from the commerce ministry are not doing their job, and business people take advantage of these things, but it poses a health risk as well. Not only the idea that rest is our staple food, but it's a health hazard, and these things can come. Some of them come from the government, some of them are self-created, and some of them come from the lack of regulations. I think we talked about this yesterday. So I just seen this video today, but it's the same narrative. I don't think anything changed. It's the same idea. I heard the guy asking, why are you putting the food on the ground that you're going to sell?
Yes, among our people here already, they are open, like you always say, to health hazard. And every time you hear these stories about typhoid, malaria, infections, so many diseases. But at the end of the day, sometimes these are some of the root cause of some of the sickness that our people normally get. Because the reason is more,
one of the things, one thing people we can take for granted, you see things that we drink and things that we eat, right? The reason people got to be very cognizant of these things, because maybe when you don't have a scanner to see in your stomach, when you get a scratch on your skin or you get a skin rash, you can see it because it's external. Anything that goes into your body, whether it's a drink, whether it's liquor or beverage or rice, you got to be very, very sure as to what you put in your system, because it's going in your belly. The worst case scenario is something is happening in there, you cannot tell. And by the time you get to know it, you already caused damage to some of your organs. That's where the problem can come from. So sometimes when I see this video, like I showed you a video on my page a couple of days ago, where someone was putting some kind of a coloring on an apple, like you painting the apple. I you see how sicknesses can come. You don't even know the kind of a chemical he's using, but he's going to paint the apple and make the apple to look like some kind of a strawberry-like color. But you go and eat the apple and you go look, you say, oh, young people are dying, but you don't know that some of the root causes that are the reason people are dying before their time and all these things, because when you put something in your belly, my brother, it's gone. You don't have control over it because it's in your system. And the only thing you have in your body, they are all sensitive organs. All I can tell anybody, all the things that in your body, your gallbladder, your liver, your pancreas, your heart, your lung, these are all dedicated organs. And when you're putting things in your body, you have to know exactly what you are putting in your mouth. Whether it's a beverage, whether it's liquor, whether it's food, you got to know exactly, because worst case scenario, you might be the victim, and that's about it.
Well, all right, Monk, like you said, so that means our people stand at very high risks, because if this rest is out now in the market or in the market, that means our people, they have to be careful as to which type of rest to buy. But again, like you said, the Ministry of Commerce, I think they have to double up, they have to wake up and make sure that they inspect some of the warehouses, so that at least our people will be able
Yeah.
to, yeah.
No, go ahead. I'll get trying to read a comment from Felicia Freewallow, and she said it right. She said, and their
Okay.
storages are not even temperature control. So due to heat and moisture, the rest get rotten. That's it. Because you got to keep it on a certain temperature too. You got to be well protected. Whether you get plastic, you cover the rice, or when the heat, I mean, when you get too much of a heat, because heat will give you moisture. It get wet. And you can, once rice get wet, you should cook it on the spot, because if you are going to keep it, what's going to happen?
And
It's
that's
going to
the
grow
point
more. That's it.
That's the point, because, like, for example, to what you and our sister Felicia saying, so if the rest is rotten, why can you maybe throw it away and farm? Maybe the rest is already damaged, it's poured. I think the best thing to do is to either call the city government and say, okay, we have this spoiled rest, and we want to dispose it somewhere where people won't be able to get access to it. I think that'll be okay, right? Instead of the rest rebaking, putting it maybe into or mixing everything, maybe the little dry one and the wet one and all this stuff. I think it's not good for our health and for our people more.
Yeah, that's why you got law. That's why you got a government. You see, people like to, we got individual responsibility, but when you live in a society, that's why you have government authority in place. That's why you got your commerce, your trade, you got inspection, you got rules and regulations, you got laws that govern importation and all these things. Because remember, the people who are interested in making money, I keep telling people, I have nothing against China or any other country for that matter. I am just saying, when you are dealing with a trading partner that does not put into consideration your health and safety, or when it comes to regulation, where they can just do things and believe that, oh, we are in Africa, people like with some subhuman that have some of the people can treat us. They know that things that are not good for them, but yet they can bring it into your country. And the reason why they'll bring it into your country, because they know you have weaker laws and weaker regulations. So when something goes wrong, they won't be held liable. So even though they can bring this thing to your country, in some of the countries that are exporting it, they don't even consume it in their own country. And we gave an example of it yesterday on this show. So it's up to our government to live up to the expectation to do their job to protect the Liberian people by making sure they are following up on these things when it comes to storage facility, when it comes to the goods coming to the country, when it comes to inspection, and making sure they can meet basic consumption standards. I think that's just all it is. Nobody, no individual, maybe you might can go stand with people and won't go check everything come to the country. That's not our job. We don't have that authority, but the government do. So it's up to them.
And that's the thing, right, Monk? So thank you. We not transition, at least, even though we've been talking about other things, but let's move now with this Speaker Wahala. On tomorrow, by the grace of God, the government of Liberia, through the finance ministry, will be presenting the 2025 right budget to the House, but we don't know yet as to which one of the block that they're going to present the budget to. But people are saying that they may likely present the budget to the Speaker. But before we go to that, there are so many letters, so many news that you've been hearing about. And I don't know, maybe you want to chip in on the letter emanating from the same finance ministry, and also with the latest one also coming from the majority bloc, acknowledging the receipt of the Thomas Father letter, and also writing him, telling him that yes, indeed, they are aware of his letter, and they are also requesting him to come on also on tomorrow to precise over them.
You said there was a letter from the finance ministry. I didn't see that letter. We read it one from the deputy speaker, telling that he was consulting his lawyers, and before he can honor their invitation or to even give them any credence when it comes to the whole speakership. And I don't know about the one that came from the finance ministry. I think I saw something like that, but I skimmed over it. I can't I can't elaborate on the content of it. I wish I could find it and then we could read it to our people so they know exactly what's happening when it comes to the finance ministry, because the budget will be the next major
Yes,
topic.
I think
The
that's
budget is
it.
going to be the
People.
yeah.
Mhm.
The budget is going to be the next the next topic. This speakership thing is taking it's taking too much of the news hell, and there are a lot of things that we keep missing that are going on. And there was a statement that Carlos Gray made on the OKFM. He said, when you find a bunch of lawmakers in excess of 32 sleeping in a hotel that costs anywhere between $200 and $250 per day, someone might be financing it. Maybe it could be an investor. The first place my heart rang about this Nigerian guy who left Liberia more than a decade ago that is back. I said, because you're talking about oil block and who's going to rectify any agreement? It will be our lawmaker. Matter of fact, he brought them before with 120,000, and we talk about that story. And now he's back in the country. So I was like, okay, let me think about this a little bit because it's making some sense here. So I hope there is now also a distraction technique to take our mind from other things happening in the country. Maybe it's from the executive, because we no longer hear about yellow machine. We no longer hear about the $3 billion that's supposed to be coming for the renewable energy plan that is supposed to be in Buchanan. All these things now, they are almost like dead on the arrival because the whole speakership thing elect. So I was thinking, I hope these guys are not playing games with Liberian people that they could create a crisis that would consume the attention of the entire country when in fact they are doing something contrary behind the scene. Who knows? But we'll keep watching. Sktv, but we can't get distracted. We will still be making our moves and getting some inquiries about things happening in the country. So we stay on it. They can fool us. They can fool some people, but they can fool us. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, indeed, they can fool some people, but they can fool us because we are always with the news makeup, and we get all the news even before some of you, before even getting some of the information out. But Mark, I'm trying to send the current letter that was sent from the majority block of that letter was sent to
Share it on my wall, on my Facebook wall, on my page. Don't do the inbox. Yeah, just put it on my page and just tag me or tag me on your page. Either way, don't send it to my inbox.
So that moves to the budget while we are trying to get all of the letters in tight. So that moves straight. Do you think where with the Ministry of Finance carry the budget on tomorrow?
Well, no, maybe. I told you when I saw the video coming from the students, I mean, I don't know for the university, but I don't know if it's super whosoever group that is talking about coming up with a mass protest. I told you from day one, I said the Liberian people will be the ultimate decider in this case. I don't know if the speaker is going to survive. I'm not going to bet on the speaker's survival, but he himself is also counting on the fact that they need 49 to remove him. And they are looking at precedent. And precedent is not legitimacy just because something happened in the past. And one of the things that I said concerning the speaker's saga is just because it happened to Snow and Tyler, it doesn't necessarily mean that Fanatic Kofa could be a victim also. It's just that the probability of he surviving is slim at this stage. Yeah, it's slim. That's my argument. But I know when we get to a constitutional crisis, when the Liberian people business will be put on the back burner, maybe, I don't know. For Seku say I can't count on them because I know their history already. They are not serious when it comes to following things. But maybe, and just maybe, the case might be different. And Fanatic Kovac will also be dragging his feet because maybe he thinks he can get sympathy from the public. Because if this 42 lawmaker keeps staying away, even though Fanatic Kovac does not have the number to call for a quorum, right, to start the business of the House. But people will say, you know what? He's still a legitimate speaker, at least according to the Constitution. And these guys who are staying away might likely be the one that is causing the country, holding the country hostage. So there will be anger and resentment coming from the public. And who knows? They are all looking for 7. The last time I checked, I don't know, maybe Fanatic Kofa looking for 8 or 9. Maybe one group will be able to come up with that number at the end of the day. But for now, who knows? But I know at the very end, I'm not hoping, I'm not counting, I won't use the word hope. I'm not placing a bet on the speaker to survive. But equally so, according to the law, according to the Constitution, he's still a legitimate speaker. That's what I know. Maybe from a procedural standpoint, maybe from their own standing rules and order in the House, he may not have that legitimacy, but on paper, from a constitutional standpoint, he remains the speaker until due process can be given him, whether he will resign by himself whether he will recuse himself from any investigation that remain to be seen. But I know at the end of the day, the Liberian people, when it gets to the constitutional crisis that will invoke or trigger the Supreme Court, the Liberian people will be the one to settle this case. And we're hearing it from the students already. So maybe few days from now or few weeks from now, other organizations, civil society will be joining their voice to this particular matter and put one group on the pressure.
So that means you are sensing, like, for example, if on tomorrow, if the lawmakers, if they don't come together on tomorrow to do the laboratory work, because mind you, like we are saying, the budget will be submitted on tomorrow. So if they are still divided, that means they are giving room for the public to come and attention them to do their work. Is that what you are saying?
You say what?
I'm asking you, if on tomorrow nothing good work out tomorrow, that means they are giving the public more reason to come and push them to do their work. Is that what you are saying?
I don't know how you would define it, because the group, the breakaway faction or the majority black, they are conducting their own session. The only thing here is who owns the legitimacy. Maybe on that I keep telling you, there's more of a leadership thing, and it got two parts to this whole fanatic saga. It's more about laws, or rules, standing order, and procedure versus the Constitution. Okay, even though they are staying away, but the last time I checked, they met in your chamber of the House, right? And they conducted their own session. The question is, who is giving legitimacy? And even if the executive will submit a budget, who are they giving that budget to? And even if they give the budget, will that automatically make Fanatic Kofa black now the legitimate black? Because they can't even call for a quorum. And the law says you must be able to get the Labrimpo business started. And you cannot call for a business.
And that's another place where I'm also dragging you, because I want you to also come to that, because receiving the budget
state does not,
and also discussing the budget is another thing.
Yeah.
So how are these going to play?
Maybe see it like this. Say you myself, right? You myself, we are two sons of our father, right? And our dad gave me, he built a shop and he gave me the key. And I should be the one to open the shop every day. And you the one should go in the shop and make sales. Maybe if I can't even open the shop for business, how will you be able to make a sale?
No way.
You cannot. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who the executive is going to submit the budget to. On paper, Fanatic Kofa remains the legitimate speaker. But from a procedure and operational standpoint, he does not even have the number to call for a quorum. And the quorum said that's the only way you can conduct the Liberian people business. So whether you give the budget to Fanatic Kofa here, that's the legitimate speaker. But when it comes to the day-to-day activity of the House to conduct the Liberian people business, then I cannot argue about that, because the number is not there. And the other group, they are conducting their own session in a separate chamber. So, I don't know. Like I said, just a matter of time for us to walk into a constitutional crisis, and the Liberian people, that the only thing I can tell you that could potentially happen, most likely to happen, that we walk into a constitutional crisis and the Liberian people will be the ultimate decider. That's all I know. Other than that, I can't tell you anything about this thing, because it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Nobody is giving in.
We left with nearly 2 minutes to go for the news bulletin, and I'm still interested in the entire speaker of budget, because mind you, we have to go for the news break. When we come back, then we'll take some time off on that. Then after that, we also interact with our people, with our listeners out there. After that, then we conclude.
We'll be back. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mark. So let's go for a break. Let's go for a brief in, brief out. Like someone will always say, today is Wednesday, folks. For those of you who just joining us, today is Wednesday, the 30th of October. A day to go. Then we'll be saying bye-bye to October and be welcoming the month of November. Stick and stay. I'm John C. Mabel Kula.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from getting up out of the club. What about people who waiting to sell? The blessing that time and the effort are rest. The brothers giving us the end of premise from there. So welcome my life without again.
I live royalty.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from getting up out of the club. What about people who waiting to sell? The blessing that time and the effort are rest. The brothers giving us the end of premise from there. So welcome my life without again.
I live royalty.
Master.
Play Paris, who make you? I can't Sktv-Lib. Say my journey, Tina get I say my yamo. And yes, I know money, the more I get you. And you love our money, the more I get you. What is
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandbaza.
And I dine ya to money, and I sadia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I put a boy ya to money, and I dine ya to money, and I sadia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I put a boy ya to money, and I forget na ya to money. That's the baby, and I forget it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from getting up out of the club. What about people who waiting to sell? The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the premise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Pentu, Bombing, Kidman, Monserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.